In today's Money Monday, the pandemic has thrown the entire world into a frenzy. So forget about really predicting anything. We cannot do that. That is why we are here to bring in Kyle Wingfield. He's going to at least talk about the market a little bit. He is from Finley Alexander Wealth Management. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Again, another favorite topic to opine on or to at least share my thoughts.
Yes, I mean, absolutely. The economic forecasting right now is nearly impossible. I feel like, why is it so difficult?
Okay, well, let's address it globally here. Economic forecasting, if I were to give it a different phrase, would be like crystal balling and trying to call what's going to happen in the future. There is no guide for the future. The only guide, if there is one that we do have, is history. And so I read something the other day that said, economic forecasters exist to make astrologers look legitimate. That's how I feel about economic forecasting because, hey, if you could have a crystal ball, why didn't you call the global health crisis we're in now? Right? Think of that one.
Talk about the effect that this type of forecasting does have on people.
Well, again, if you have a plan, you can act on a plan and you can digest and filter out what you're seeing on television or reading on these blogs. I think for the most part, most people don't have a plan. They've never really understood what it means. Saving money in products is not a plan. The reality is economic forecasting can trigger anxiety, panic, and indecision because on one hand, everything's doing well in the market, for example, and then you're not in it. So now you have fear of missing out. If the market starts going down and you're in it, now you're like, oh my gosh, what happens? So good news becomes bad news, depending on where you are, and bad news is bad news. So at the same time, if we have a plan, it really doesn't matter what someone says, because if we take a step back, you don't have to be in the business or in the industry to get this one, Elsa. And that is, if you take a step back, the stock market, the economy, and the world has expanded since you've been alive.
Right. Because I'm looking at this. If we take a look back, the market has done pretty well in recent years, correct? So, I mean, we should maybe relax a little bit or maybe not. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Here's something to hold on to. About every single year, be prepared if you're in the market, you're owning the high value mainstream companies of the world, and be prepared for there to be a 10 to 15% correction annually and plan to ignore it. Every 5 to 6 years, plan for your capital to temporarily appear to disappear by 30% or maybe more to only come back again greater and better. In fact, over the last 12 and a half years, the stock market's been up over 17.5% compounded. Wow. All people are saying is, when is it going to go down? When is it going to, in a panic way? And I'm thinking to myself, show me the violence of the drop, and I can give you a great indication of the violent, awesome recovery that's going to happen, where growth is going to be awesome. So people really don't understand when the market goes down, everything, they think that the risk in holding an equity is when it's at its peak. But the best time to hold those equities is when they're on sale, when everyone's panicking out. That's when you own them. That's when it's awesome. That's when you're getting a discount, so to speak, because the great companies of the world always innovate and always come back stronger.
So what should we be doing right now? Just hold it. Really, like, we'll cut to the chase. What should we be doing?
Yeah. Well, so I don't like to give specific advice. I mean, I'm a fiduciary and I'm independent. So yes. What I like to say is this: in the context of a purpose-driven plan, you can put the growth bucket in your plan into perspective and allow it to do what it's going to do. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to do nothing at points, and that's okay. But if you've got a plan and structure and you know where you're headed, like a map, like a retirement roadmap, or a stay retired roadmap, or a personal financial economic plan or roadmap, then you have your course, you know the destination, and there will be traffic. You will have to do a bypass. Here's the thing: if you have the map ahead of time, you know what to do. You're not shocked by anything, and you can keep a solid disposition and have peace. Because I realized the other day, financial happiness is just peace, contentment. How do you get there? Have a structure, have a plan, have it written out, have an investment policy statement, and you are going to be fine.
I love the approach that find the silver lining at all times, because it will always get better, or you have to believe that. You have to have the faith in that. Kyle, how can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, finleyalexander.com. Go to the website. We have a financial literacy section. One of the things I want to drive folks to pay attention to, look at our Stay Retired scorecard. This is an opportunity to do a personal assessment on how you feel about where you are, the things that give you a little bit of anxiety, and then where would you like to be? And then now you have that score, and then that is very clear of what needs to be prioritized. We'll receive that. And if you're open to it, we have a conversation over the phone, casual, about how you can get there without giving up and enjoying the ride along the way.
Got it. All right, Kyle. Thank you. Always so helpful. We really appreciate you being on. And we'll be right back with more Midday Maryland right after this. Stay tuned.